I think that's one of the joys and benefits that I've had from just a small antidote of the benefits I've had from working Agile.
What was the end result, the outcome, in terms of the business benefits, we might say?
Instead of having a board meeting to get approval, we had a walkthrough. And we had no need to go into a boardroom. We got approval from the walkthrough. No, I didn't at all. I just implemented it.
Natasia, welcome. I remember the days when we were working there, and I also remember that after that masterclass, every now and then we would be in contact, and you would send me a photograph or ask me a question. Hey, is this right? How can I do this? Do you have any feedback on this? And I know you're still in infrastructure today. I know you still work like this. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and where you are today when it comes to using Agile in your way of work?
Well, we had an incredible 2 days with you, and I thought that I had to apply the learnings you shared with us in the masterclass. And one of the challenges I had is that I had the biggest budget in the country, and I needed to spend the money to be able to build infrastructure. And the problem was getting it communicated to the team and making the visual part accessible to the executive team. And that's when I started sending pictures to you and asking you questions. Have I done it correctly? I started with the visual management, getting all of the priority projects onto a planning board, and ensuring that my team, from my executive assistant right down to my assistants, everybody had access to my office. And one of the benefits of my office was that it was glass windows all around, so I could write on it, and I could post on it, and I could visualize everything and every step of the process that we were in the project development. And I remember one evening I was on a call, and my CEO probably wanted to have a look and see what was happening and where we are with the particular project. He walked into my office, looked around, had his notebook with him, and left. We did not say 2 words to each other, but he got the information that he needed and he left. And I think that's one of the joys and benefits that I've had from just a small antidote of the benefits I've had from working Agile.
And that's a wonderful story. I remember that a while ago you told me about your CEO, and transparency is the carrier of Agile, right? So it's about having people informed. But I also know that in the type of projects that you do, you have a huge amount of stakeholders involved. Can you explain to us a little bit, how you handle that, and especially where you brought in Agile practices?
Yeah, I think that's where we've had the most benefits from working Agile, is bringing all the stakeholders around the room when we have our heartbeats. One of the big benefits we've had was to actually align projects and have certain activities run concurrently. Before when we worked waterfall, some of the activities would come later that you could actually have running at the same time as others, and you could be quicker to market and quicker to approval. One of my biggest bugbears with infrastructure development and the approval process is the time for approval, the time it takes to get projects approved. And what we were able to do is to shorten that time period through visual management. And I think I shared with you, one of the big projects we had was a feasibility study connecting the railroad between South Africa and Swaziland. A very technical project, a lot of detail, and very difficult to communicate the stages of completion in the project to the board of Transnet at the time. And what we did do is we blew up the entire project into entire wall-size pictures showing where we were in the development. And instead of having a board meeting to get approval, we had a walkthrough. And we had no need to go into a boardroom. We got approval from the walkthrough. And that was one of the greatest advantages that we took from working Agile.
Yeah, and if you because, obviously I love to hear this, right? But if you make a quantum leap to the end, can you explain what, in your opinion, those agile practices that you applied, what did they bring? What was the end result, the outcome, in terms of the business benefits, we might say?
I would say the first thing was that the team were completely aligned. And it's very difficult to have that kind of alignment in a big infrastructure development project, because you've got legal who have their own things that they need to do. You've got the environmental team who have mountains and mountains of paperwork to submit. And understanding where the activity comes into play is oftentimes a challenge. But when you have all the stakeholders around the room in your heartbeat, it shortens that time. Also, the fact that we were able to reduce the cost of the project by getting approval quicker, that was a major benefit to us. And also the fact that we were able to get projects going quicker. We were able to get a number of projects running at the same time because we all understood where each other were. One of the most technical things that we need to do on an annual basis was to get the maintenance regimes for either the infrastructure or the rolling stock, which is your locomotives and your wagons. Those business cases approved, and we brought all the stakeholders, including those who needed to approve the project, together in the room, and with the result that we did not waste time on getting things approved because everybody was aligned.
It's so great to hear this. When it comes to agile working, I know people don't like change in general. Also, at least in the Netherlands, agile has already been mentioned as the most annoying word a couple of years ago, most annoying word of the year. Did you ever talk to the people around you? We're going to work agile. Or how did you approach it?
No, I didn't at all. I just implemented it. It wasn't a major new invention that I was bringing in as if it was a major change that needed to happen. I organically introduced it with my team, and I was amazed that the buy-in was smooth because people had access to it. In organizations like that where it could be very hierarchical, it wasn't, in terms of the fact that people could now enter into my office, get in and understand where they were in their projects, take a post-it, move it from not started to in progress and to finish, and we were all aligned. And I think those were massive benefits that were brought not only to the team but to the leadership, because anybody could have access and understand where the capital program was. And if there was money, one of the drawbacks is people then knew, there's still money left in the budget, I can come in and speak to the team, which was also good because you want to help business forward.
Okay, so you were responsible for the project, and it brought a lot, especially for you being responsible. You get things done on time, or even earlier than expected. Do you think that the other participants perceived benefits as well? What do you think happened there?
Yes, definitely. From a project team, my team were able to understand where approvals were in the process. We were the gatekeepers for the investment committee. So we would evaluate all of the projects. But because we were working with the team, it took away that time for evaluation because we were involved in the project and we understood what was happening in the project. Instead of sitting outside as a referee, we were now playing on the team, and the only referees were the decision makers. So that also shortened our process time within the department, and allowed us to be able to take on more strategic projects and more activities that allowed us to be able to grow as a team and individuals.
It's so funny because, I like to use those one-liners on Agile, and one of them is, Agile is moving away from individual tasks to team delivery. And I think this is where you talk about, it's the involvement, not being a referee, having a shared responsibility. Am I correct?
Absolutely. We all took responsibility for all of the projects. Instead of having this department only looking after maintenance, another department only looking after expansion, we were all involved in everything. And the benefit of that really was that people grew in their jobs. They felt needed, and they felt like they were contributing to not only the greater good of the company, but to the country, because we were delivering legacy projects. And it gave us the opportunity to deliver legacy projects on our watch, doing it in an agile way.
Natasia, thank you so much. A lovely conversation. Of course, I knew already a little bit about it, but I hope that the people who watch this podcast will also take benefits from it. And if they want to, can they find you anywhere on the media to ask you maybe a question?
Always. I'm on LinkedIn. It was wonderful to be with you and to share my experience using Agile.
Thank you so much.